Hi, dear students. We will talk about the natural resources. Think about all countries and regions. We'll see so many differences. Some areas are green and lush, others are dry and sandy. So, these differences of landforms, soil, and climates that we call a natural resource. So, a natural resource is any substance in natural that people use. Okay. Do we have types of these natural resources? Yes, we have a renewable resource and non-renewable one. Okay, you know that soil takes hundreds or thousands of years to be formed. So soil is an example of non-renewable resource. Okay, a non-renewable resource takes such a long time to be formed that is used faster than it can be replaced. Again, if we mention that renewable resources takes such a long time to be formed, we can give example like soil. It is used faster than it can be replaced. Some natural resources are renewable. So a renewable resource is one that can be replaced as fast as it is used. Every time you can use it, after using it will be replaced directly. It's fast as it can be used. So this is a renewable one. Example, wind energy from the sun are renewable resource. There is unending supply of the sun. So sun energy, none, no ending for this. So it is a renewable one. Okay. Also, we have the wind energy. So these are the main, and even the geothermal energy. All these are renewable energy. But what about the non-renewable energy? We have the fuel, fossil fuel, oil, coal, and the natural gas, nuclear. All of these are non-renewable energy. So we need to do our best to keep these resources because it takes too many years, like thousands of years, to be renewed, renewed again. As we mentioned, and these non-renewable resources, okay, it takes too long time to form. That's used faster than it can be replaced. So make best use and also try to keep it as much as you can. Okay. So if we mentioned before soil as a non-renewable resource, so soil are an important natural resource. Is Earth's life needs soil. Many of these plants are the foods people eat. Soil is made mostly of rock that has been broken into small particles by ice, wind, and water. So rocks broken into small one by the wind or water effect. About half of soil is water and air. A tiny part of soil is humus. Okay, humus is a layer of soil made of organisms that have died and decayed before. This is the first layer of the soil. Okay, made of organisms that have died and decayed before. Okay, soil differ from place to another depending on a few factors. The most important factor is the type of the last layer is the bedrock under the soil. According this type, we can expect the type of the soil. Also, another factor could affect the type of the um, soil is the climate. So bedrock is the soil rock of Earth's crust. Climate also important in determining the type of the soil. Rock breaks down more slowly in dry climate than in wet one. Yes, in wet conditions, you can the rocks will be easily broken, but in dry climates, it takes too many time. So it will be slowly break down. Okay, so bedrock layer and climate are the most important two factors to determine the type of the soil, while the first layer, humus layer, is a layer of decayed and died organisms. Okay, so we have the uh, first layer, humus, topsoil, subsoil, and we see this topsoil could be rich in uh, the decayed and died organism, but this will could be rich in minerals, and then withered rock, and finally the bedrock. So we have 5 layers of the soil: humus, topsoil, subsoil, withered rock, and bedrock. Most of Earth's surface is covered with water, but most of that is salty water found in ocean seas. People depend on fresh water for drinking, yes, and watering crops and cooking. Fresh water is not distributed evenly over Earth's surface. Okay, okay. So fresh water can be surface water or ground water, and you know, okay, surface water, fresh water coming from rains, and groundwater, deep water. Rivers and lakes are surface water formed millions of years ago. Groundwater is water found in the underground rock or sand. Rain seeps into soil, it moves deeper into the ground until it is stopped by rock to form this ground water. Okay, so this is the sources of fresh water, rivers, lakes, and groundwater. While mostly on Earth we have the salty one in oceans and sea. Okay, so for the countries uh, um, having low uh, sources of fresh water, what they gonna do to obtain this fresh water from the salty one in order to drink and cook and water crops. So fresh water is scarce in the Arabian Gulf desert. There are few lakes and rivers, and heavy rain is rare. So it's a problem. Groundwater supplies much of the water for drinking and for farms. Still, many regions don't have enough groundwater. People may pump up groundwater faster than waiting for the rain. So groundwater may be very deep beneath the surface, requiring expensive drills to obtain. So if they think about this solution to obtain fresh water from the groundwater, it's very expensive because it needs drills and deep uh, um, uh, procedures to do it. Many other parts of the world are dry and share this problem also. In many of these places, engineers have found a way to change the distribution of fresh water. They have designed huge canals. They pipe fresh water to desert areas. In Arabian Gulf countries, engineers have found another way to get more fresh water through a process of desalination. The process of desalination, defined as the removal of salt and other minerals from seawater, so it will be replaced as or changed to fresh one. But the disadvantage of this method that while you are removing salts and mineral, also you will remove the vital and important minerals in the water. But you will gain fresh water instead of salty one. This desalination process. Okay. For the fuel, we have the fossil fuel. Much of human society runs on oil. Yes, the burning of oil produce run cars. The burning of oil products runs cars, trucks, boats. This is usage of the burning of oil. We can run cars, trucks, boat, trains, and airplanes. So oil is very, very important in our. And oil, as we know or mentioned before, it is a non-renewable resource. So we will heat home and generate this all uses. The Arabian Gulf has large resources. Oil not evenly distributed throughout the world. Countries such as Australia and India don't have oil, but Australia and India have large supply of coal. Chile, China, and Peru have no oil, but they do produce much copper. Oil, natural gas, and coal are fossil fuel, which are non-renewable resources. Fossil fuel is a fuel formed from the remains of dead plants and animals. Too many years in soil, after millions of years, this fossil fuel already formed. So it is a non-renewable resource. We should keep it as much as we can. Fossil fuel form only under certain conditions. So fossil fuel are found only in certain places. Example, the coal today on Earth today began to form 300 million years ago. Okay, and swamp plants were buried under thick layers of sediment. Okay, over many of years, heat and pressure turns the plant into coal. So this is a coal how it's formed. Uh, Millions of years passed on uh, this plant after being buried and thick layer of sediment on it. Heat and pressure turns the plant into coal. The Gulf region never had the right condition to form coal, but the perfect condition exists to form oil and natural gas. Oil is formed from tiny plants and animals in shallow areas, in shallow seas. The organism lived and sank to the seafloor. Over many of years, layers of sediment built up, heat and pressure transform these into oil and natural gas. Okay, so oil is formed from tiny plants and animals in shallow seas. Organisms dead and sank to the seafloor. Over a million of years, layer of sediment built up, heat pressure transformed them into oil. Okay, today we agreed that we have uh, natural resource made by Allah. Natural resource could be a renewable or non-renewable one. Example for the renewable, wind and sun energy. And for the non-renewable one, we have the coal, the oil, yes. Uh, and these non-renewable resources, we should keep it as much as we can, okay? And they have different methods to make it distributed evenly between countries. I hope it was an easy lesson. Wishing you all the best and